Mental illness affects roughly 1 in 4 people worldwide, making it one of the leading causes of ill health and disability. An average of 450 million people currently suffer from such conditions globally. Some people may argue that it has only been within the past couple of decades that the number has skyrocketed to an alarming high. But why? Unfortunately, more and more children and young adults are being affected by mental illness, and some think that the media is to blame. The news often covers stories to do with mental illness. These stories often reveal alarming statistics and gruesome details. News media, particularly newspapers, are among the most commonly identified sources of mental health information. This gives them great power to disperse inaccurate and stigmatizing stereotypes about mental illness. It is known that reporters and journalists emphasize the violent, delusional, and irrational behavior of people with mental illness, and often sensationalize headlines and story content in order to attract attention. Consequently, the public have complained and argue that they want to see more real-life mental illness stories in the news. However, mental health portrayal in the news is the least influential and impactful source on today's youth. Mainstream television and movies are viewed by billions of people around the world daily. Having an audience this big, you'd think that raising awareness for the mentally ill would be a good idea. However, in 2017, a Netflix original series named 13 Reasons Why received a lot of backlash after claims of glorifying depression and suicide. The show, based on a novel by Jay Asher from 2007, follows the suicide of a high school girl named Hannah Baker, who recorded tapes to explain her decision to take her life. Before the release of the series, Netflix were warned by professionals not to release it, but their advice was ignored and the series became available to the public. 2 years later, a study by the National Institute of Mental Health has stated that 13 Reasons Why was associated with a 28.9% increase in suicide rates among the US youth ages 10 to 17 in the month following the show's release, peaking the world's suicide rates to an all-time high. Ask any child where he or she gets online entertainment and there's a good chance he or she will say YouTube. But not every YouTube channel fits the kid-friendly image the site promotes. In early January 2018, Logan Paul, one of the biggest stars on YouTube with nearly 20 million subscribers, many of them teenagers, posted a video from his trip to Japan. During the video, Paul and his friends visited the popular suicide forest and discovered the body of a man who had committed suicide. Images of the deceased man were seen multiple times throughout the video and also in the video's thumbnail. After receiving tons of backlash and hate, Paul apologised and has since taken the video down, claiming he originally posted it for suicide awareness. After taking a long break from social media, Paul released a 7-minute mini documentary named Suicide Be Here Tomorrow. In this video, he speaks to victims of attempted suicide and families affected by mental illness to try and better his understanding on the topic and while raising awareness to his audience. This project reveals that the media is playing more of a negative role in the current mental illness situation. The portrayal of mental illness in the media has had many negative effects on the world throughout the past decade, and unfortunately, there is not much we can do about it. Each of these aspects of media are in their own way trying to raise awareness for a topic that is so broad and sensitive. To better their overall portrayal of mental illness, the media should focus on reducing the stigma surrounding the topic. A way to do this is by sharing stories of people positively coping with mental illness. Having positive stories portrayed on the media will influence those silently suffering to speak out and get help, therefore reducing the overall mental illness statistics for the better.